Hi there, I'm Gay Ghostface, and I have a PSA regarding re-releasing action figures. There are certain rules that come with redistributing a character that has already been released in a certain line. Rule number 1, you can never reuse the entire figure. People get pissed off, especially if you uptick the price. They'll feel more like they're a product themselves rather than a customer you actually care about. Second rule, there must always be more accessories. More accessories mean more fun, means more play, and more display, henceforth the name of the damn channel. Third rule, never under any circumstance say store exclusive, because nobody likes store exclusives. Nobody's going to be able to get your store exclusives, and they're going to uptick the price, they're going to cost more money, the people are going to get more pissed off at you, and then they're going to come to your house, find the people you love, and then strip the guts from their. That's it for this PSA. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you in your bedroom. Hello my friends and welcome back to Player Display. Today we're going to have another look at the NECA catalog so we can have a little peek at the really awesome Ghostface from, well, not Scream actually. It's a really odd situation because the Scream mask, or rather better known as the Ghostface mask, existed before the movie, so it seems like NECA has the rights to the mask but not to the actual films, so it's a little bit weird. But at the same time, things kind of poetically came together because there was a New York Comic Con that came out, and that's where this exclusive is from. But of course, just about a year ago, we got the 6th Scream movie, which took place in New York. So that kind of lines up just right. I own the previous release of NECA's Ghostface, and this one is an absolute improvement in just about every aspect, in terms of accessories, articulation, the soft goods, the mask especially. There's so many great things that they did with this figure, so it's absolutely worth a look. So let's go ahead and start off with the really excellent looking San Diego New York Comic Con exclusive packaging. Sorry, force of habit there. I do not have many convention exclusives in my collection, so this is a very special occasion for me, but you can tell that this box wants you to get very excited about the product inside, and that is very well warranted. Over here we have the I Love New York classic moniker, which is being corrupted by Ghostface literally cutting his way through the packaging, which I think is so cool looking. You got the full moon over there, got the New York skyline in the back, just very beautiful presentation. This figure is more officially referred to as the Ghostface Takes Manhattan, which I guess is something that you could call the last Scream movie that we just got, so that kind of fits in there as well. It also has some accessories that also go with the movie, so no doubt the movie also informed this figure a little bit. Off to the back, we have various of many display options that you could have with this figure. Really, the possibilities are endless. This is really a one-size-fits-all Ghostface. No matter which movie you're into the most, which one's your favorite, or whatever, I think this figure pretty much just covers everything. It really does quite a lot, especially if you have the other release and you'll have even more accessories to go with him. But you see, he has various mask options, and then also 2 different knives, which is very good. And then down here you got Ghostface Takes Manhattan once again. Up to the top, you see that once more. Off to the bottom, we have the fine artist who made this piece possible. Hold on, if I pull out a little bit, there you are. Got NECA, Real Toys, and over here we have
Green Arrow.
And of course, what's a good box without our usual
Sun onions!
Of course, this is still a NECA Ultimate release. We get the usual window box style packaging. Once you open it up with some Velcro, you get an excellent looking shot of the figure with some other more eccentric choices for accessories. And then over here, you also have the display window, which has a really awesome subway backdrop. Probably very good for some photo shoots or a potential thumbnail that you might have seen before clicking on this video. So here is the figure, almost exactly as he appeared straight out of the box, and I literally only have one complaint with this figure, and that complaint is easily fixed, and that is the mask. First of all, there are many different types of Ghostface masks, as we all know, not just in terms of the color palette or whether or not they have devil horns or not, but also they are shaped a little bit differently. In the very first movie, if you put that mask side by side with what we're usually seeing now, you can definitely see that the eyes are a little bit more narrow, the mouth is a little bit more thin, but over here everything opens up a little bit more. This is my more preferred type of Ghostface mask. And also this one is a little bit warped. That is, again, my only complaint with this figure. You can see at the chin, it goes out just a little bit too much. I think that's something that hot water will fix in a jiffy, so I'm not even worried about that. But it is a very beautiful looking mask, pretty clean. Halloween. They could have fixed up the black a little bit around there so it fills in the edges just a tad more, but really it's not even a complaint worth toting about. Everything here just looks really good. I mean, it's hard to fail at making a Ghostface figure. It really is. The mask, the cloak, some shoes, and then whatever accessories you got to pimp him out a little bit more. But as for the rest of the figure, he really is fantastic. I mean, you can see there's this shimmeriness, which is accurate, at least to the first Scream movie. I'm not sure if he always had that glittery look, but that's always what I picture. Again, it's meant to be a hokey, cheap Halloween costume. That's kind of the point. But yeah, it looks beautiful throughout. If you go down to the sleeves over here, you have those Grim Reaper looking drapes hanging down on either side. You can go to the left as well. There you go. You also have two hands. He comes with multiple interchangeable options, but over here, straight out of the box, I haven't even changed these out yet, so we'll have a look at that as well. We have one gripping hand for a knife, and then we also have one wider gripping hand for any one of his other accessories. He can even hold another mask if you really wanted him to, so that would be a very good option. Up at the hood, we also have some wiring here, so you could position it however you like. It was a little bit more pressed in vertically when I opened them up, but I preferred to widen it up just a little bit, so it's a little more oval-like, I suppose, sort of cup over the rest of the head. That's just the way I see it, but it's nice that you got the wire in there so you can tweak it around a little bit. Maybe if you'd wanted to drape a little more down towards collarbone, you could do that as well. It's something that you would want to be careful with. I'm actually going to bring in the original Ghostface a little early here, because I noticed I took him off my shelf, and you can see right there is a little bit of that wire poking back out, so you want to be careful with that. That's something I could probably fix with tweezers, but I don't know if that's going to be the same problem here, but it's just a matter of being careful when you're working with the wiring. But for me, I got it where I want it to go. I don't feel the need to ever move it ever again, so that's totally fine. Going on down to the feet, pretty much is the last thing we see. We also have these ruffles down here, kind of like Batman, I suppose, at the bottom of the robe. And he also got his sneakers or hunting boots, I'm really not too sure. But also one thing I did want to point out is, of course, you got this cloak which covers almost every joint of this figure. If we go ahead and pull up the skirt for, practical reasons, of course, you can see the waist and the base body underneath. And the reason why I wanted to show that off, I believe it's the same body as we saw in the original release. We'll look at that as well. The legs have a lot of real estate, so it can kick all the way forward. I mean, look at that. I know we're not quite at articulation yet, but there are a lot of beautiful joints hidden under this cloak that give him a lot of mobility, whether you want him to be more serious, more funny, or just falling all over the place like in the first movies. So the joints really do give him a lot of leeway to get him into whatever situations that you like, whether it be a lot more intimidating and slasher-like in the first movie, or something more akin to Scary Movie. You can pretty much do it all with this figure, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the base figure. Again, it's Ghostface, pretty simple, generic Halloween costume, but that's what makes him the icon of Halloween, as NECA likes to call him. As I mentioned before, the accessories here are absolutely phenomenal, and that's what makes this figure so exciting, aside from it being a very elusive Comic-Con exclusive. But firstly, we have the classic mask, as we just looked at. I just went ahead and pulled that off. But we also have 4 more masks to look at. So over here, we have a bloody variant of the exact same mold. They're all in the exact same mold for the record, but of course it is the paint that makes them different. That's one of the great things about this Ghostface. You can have him look very intimidating. This is the route you'd probably want to go, but you also have him look a little more comedic or silly with the other options that we have. So there's a bloody variant. Then we also have, especially if you're a fan of the 6th movie that just came out, we have a weathered or aged mask. This one might be my least favorite, simply because I feel like they could have done a better job making it more aged. Like, if they would have given it a little bit of a brown rub or a wash or something like that, I feel like that would have done a better job. That's something I could probably do on my own as well. I just feel like, compared to the classic mask, it might be a little bit too similar. Like, you could see they made it a little bit gray, a little bit dirty, but I feel like they could have pushed it just a little bit further to make it a bit more obvious. Just contrasting against the black, I feel like it doesn't do quite as good of a job, but it's still nice. It's not a bad piece by any means. I'm kind of nitpicking here. Next up, we have the green mask, which you can also call the stab mask if you consider the movies. Just done in a slate green, not glow in the dark. I believe it was for the original release, but in this case, the green is a lot more apparent because it's not that kind of pale glow in the dark paint that we see on anything that is glow in the dark. In this case, it's just slate oversaturated green, makes him a lot more hokey looking. I really appreciate that. Actually, jumping ahead, we do also have, there goes my fridge. I apologize for that. We also have a stab knife, also done in green, so that's a very good coupling if you want to put them together, so it could be less so Ghostface, but more so a Ghostface fan who is masquerading as him if you want. But then I think my absolute favorite mask here is the Pride mask. Actually, one of the main reasons why I got this figure at all and why I staked out the NECA website, which was one of the only ways to get the figure, is because my friend really wanted me to get this figure just for the Pride mask. And you know what? I'm glad she harped on me because it's a lot of fun. I love having all the colors. This is probably going to be the mask I display this Ghostface with. It's just a joy to have, and it really does add quite literally a dash of color on the shelf. I just think it's a lot of fun. As for other accessories, we also have a little Lady Liberty over here.
Oh, look at Lady Liberty. Liberty.
She's looking pretty nice. Actually, looking up closely, I just noticing this now. It looks like there's a little bit of bleeding or something going on with the eyes and the mouth. Oh, wait a minute. It's a tiny ghost face. I'm just realizing that now. I haven't really played around with all these accessories yet, so I'm just learning that now. But that is a fun little detail. Okay, so we got a Ghostface Lady Liberty over there. That's really fun. And you can use the hand that's already equipped on the main body in order to hold it. It's a wider grip over there, so you can fit that into his hand, no problem. Then we already looked at the stab knife, but you also have a traditional hunting knife over here. Not bloody or anything, that's fine. We already got that with the previous release. So again, you can go ahead and do your swap outs. If you want two ghost faces, which, oops, spoiler, is kind of something that happens in the films. And over here we have various other hands. So for the left on the main figure, we just had the gripping hand. But over here it looks like we have three other alternate gripping options, and it looks like all of them are trigger fingers, so if you want him holding firearms, then that's something you can do. I mean, he did wield a firearm in the last movie, so if you want him wielding a shotgun, perhaps from the McFarlane accessory packs, then that's something you can definitely do. I definitely want to try that out, especially with the weathered mask. And then as for the righty, again, he has the open hand, but this time we have another knife hand over here. And then we also have this more specific done just right or chef's kiss hand over here, and that is more meant for another accessory which I have off to the side, my mistake, but let's bring that in now. We have a play kill, not a play bill, but a play kill, and this is one of the most meta accessories I've ever seen with an action figure. So you'd imagine, okay, so they're doing sort of a parody of New York memorabilia. Of course, you got your playbills with all the musicals. Now you got a play kill. What are they possibly going to put on the inside? They're not going to credit actors, of course, but when you open it, let me go ahead and pop in, you have the faces of the creators of this figure, which is such a brilliant and novel idea. I really love that a lot. So here they are. Thank you guys for putting this beautiful figure together. And then we also have Ghostface himself down here from Fun World, which is the company that actually created the mask. So I guess they gave the rights to, of course, NECA. Then they also previously gave the rights to Wes Craven in order to produce the Scream films. So anyways, back to the hand. The least exciting thing about this duo, you can go ahead, get the index finger and the thumb, put the play kill right in between. They can hold it and show it to you, read it to you, or whatever you like, and that's really excellent. But the last thing he does come with, which is something that we've also seen on the previous release, is the voice change box, which is looking pretty sharp with the paint apps and everything. I feel like this has sharper, more crisp details than the last release, but the original one was actually a little bit more chunky. So let me go ahead and pull that one over here. So here's the original, and then here's the new one. You can see there is a distinct difference in the sculpt. The original one is like twice the thickness of the new one, which is pretty interesting. I guess Which one do I prefer? I think I prefer the original one, actually, but, I mean, being that he has so many other accessories, the exclusive one anyways, I'm probably not going to be using this at all. I think the original release is going to be more the classic Ghostface from the films, and this one's just going to be the more comedic and funny slapstick one that we kind of picture in our heads on Halloween in a scary movie or something like that. But, yeah, great selection of accessories here. Really fantastic. Before we go ahead to visit all the joints, let's go ahead and see what it's like to move some of these accessories around. So here we have the main head sculpt, and it is just one head sculpt, whereas on the original one you had multiple head sculpts, each one with a different mask. But even when I got that figure, I was wishing, wouldn't it be great if they just had the masks removable and then just have one head? Well, fortunately, that's exactly what they did here. So you can go ahead, just lift it right under the chin, which is not an issue, pull that out, and then you can remove it, and then you can see we actually have two pegs right there. It actually reminds me of that other Halloween costume where you have the two glowing eyes, and then that's it. That's just robes and nothing more. So, I don't know, that's a cool DIY you could do yourself if you really wanted to. Get another hokey, cheap Halloween costume. But there we go. We got the two pegs on the back of that mask. We can put it aside. And let's go ahead and create a stab variant of this figure. So let's go ahead, get the green one. Just plug it right in. Nice and easy. We'll also go ahead and give him the stab knife right here, and you can put this underhand or overhand. Let's do underhanded for now. Slide that right in. The hand is basically just a hole. It's not conformed specifically to the grip, so it's pretty universal. And the knives are both the exact same mold, so there we go. And then we also have this hand over here, so let's go ahead and swap that out for the play kill option. So let's see what it's like to remove these hands. I haven't actually tried that yet. Let's give it a twist and pull. Okay, not too terrible. One complaint I had with the original one is that the cloth around the wrist tended to get in the way. Over here, it doesn't look as bad, so let's go ahead and give that a try. Here is the play kill hand. So go ahead, get the actual play kill in there, and there we go. Then he can also be holding it up to his face, reading it. He's got the knife up there. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Actually, let's look at the back of the play kill, because I haven't actually even looked at that. Oh, there you got the Ghostface Lady Liberty again. And you got Ghostface Takes Manhattan. Oh, and then it says, literally, NECA Convention Exclusive 2023. So, yeah, this figure goes meta all the way. Perfect for a meta franchise, even though it can't actually say Scream anywhere on the packaging for legal reasons, which, who cares, right? Figure's a figure. And it's a great one at that. I went ahead and threw on the bloody mask as we go ahead and look at articulation. Still going to be a little careful, because whenever you have something with soft goods that's covering up the joints, you still want to be sure you're not bending anything the wrong way. But that being said, the articulation is still fantastic. It gives a lot more than what meets the eye. But for the head, you got tilt. Of course, it's going to be the same for all the masks. They're all the same mold. As for going down, not too bad. You can look down on a downed Drew Barrymore if you wanted to. Also go that much back, so head movement's not crazy, but gives you just enough. Also got swivel. That's probably the best point over there. As for the arms, they got swivel up, goes pretty straight, doesn't V out too much with any shoulder sculpt getting in the way. As for elbows, they are double jointed. I'm not sure if that's different from the original or not. It might be the same, but yeah, it comes out to about there, not too bad. As for the wrists, they all actually articulate differently. Some are in and out, some are up and down. As for this one here, it looks like it is... I can't actually tell. So this is the, again, the play kill hand. This one is actually an out and in, so that's pretty nice. I don't feel like putting the hand back in right now, so we'll just leave them there for now. This Ghostface didn't do so well trying to kill his victims, but anyways, as for the torso, you got a ball joint in there, so you can do a little bit of swiveling. Lot down, actually. Very good. Very good amount back. He can look right up to the sky. Also got some tilt in there. As for the legs, we already kind of talked about that, but with the skirt down, he can still go all the way up, just do a perfect axe kick, looking really great. As for knees, they are single jointed, but they come down to not 90, that's alright. As for the ankles, let's go ahead and have a look. We have swivel, we got a touch back, better amount forward though, and we also got some stiff but present rocker. I adore this figure. Looking absolutely fantastic. And I'm not even done having fun with him yet. There's so many things you could do with him. I'm really looking forward to playing with him more. Now, before we do our general size comparisons, let's do an everything comparison with the last NECA release that we got, I think about 2 years ago. He's still in stock, you can still find him around, kind of floating. He was kind of unavailable for a while, I think due to 2020 and all that crap, but now you can definitely get him if you want, especially if you can't get the Comic-Con exclusive. But yeah, the differences are pretty evident. I mean, there's not a whole ton to compare because, again, it's mostly just black cloth, but you can see the masks, they're totally different. As for this one, all the head molds are exactly the same. Same over here, but this time it was just for the masks. They had the one head in the back that was interchangeable, obviously. And you can also see the general sculpts for the face are different. This one is a little bit more akin to how he appeared in the first movie, and this one's a little bit more modernized in the new 2 movies that we saw in the past several years. As for the soft goods, that's the next noticeable difference. You can see that the cloth on the Comic-Con version actually goes all the way down to the shoes, where on the standard version, it comes up a little bit short, so you can make out more of the pants and also the shoes. And the shoes are also different, which I actually like. You have brown on the standard, then you have black on the Comic-Con version. And that makes perfect sense. You have different people wearing the suit. Depending on how you want to display these, if you have both of them, it could be either 2 Ghostface killers or it could be 2 cosplayers if you want. And you just got different shoes to throw on. So that makes them a lot of fun if you got them as a pair. And even the mask variations, that also lends to that proposition as well. The last noticeable difference is, of course, they have different masks and they have different hands. Even the hands vary a little bit sculpt-wise if we bring them in. On the original one, it's a little bit more chiseled, and on the new one, it's a little more leathery and smooth and shiny, which I like a lot. Again, good to have a little bit of that variation and make it look like 2 people with the same costume idea, just cobbled together with whatever it was that they had in the back of their closet. So, very cool. I really love the variation that they have. Now back to standard size comparisons we go, with a few of Ghostface's idols, as he mentions them in the movie. So over here we have Jason Voorhees from The New Blood, we also have Freddy Krueger from Dream Warriors, we also have Michael Myers from the new Halloween trilogy, and then we have the standard Ghostface once again. You can see that the Comic-Con variant is pretty much the same height as Krueger and Ghostface V1 over here. Note that Krueger's a little bit crouched down, but he is not as tall as Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, which is pretty much correct. But of course, he towers above, like everyone else, the Star Wars Black Series. Mecha Muck speaking. How can I help you?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm not really into the whole horror thing. Why do you ask?
Because I want to play a little bit of a game, and if you can't answer all my questions,
Yeah, that's real threatening. It's not like you're in my house or anything.
let's just say that I might be coming out of the closet to get you.
Oh no, the one place I've never looked!
What's with the long face? There's no need to feel down.
Now, I've made my opinions very clear when it comes to the idea or prospect of an action figure exclusive for any line, really. I mean, NECA, McFarlane, Hasbro, for any of them. I'm not a fan of the exclusive moniker. I feel like it limits the market and prevents people from getting figures that they want and can or cannot afford. So I think that really sucks. But for me, at least I was able to get this one, and it is an exclusive done right. It's not an essential. It's not one that you absolutely must have, especially since we got the standard Ghostface already floating around. So if you get that one, you're fine. This one's kind of a bonus, but it is very exciting, and it's really fun to throw the accessories around, change them up, make them either really hysterical and funny, or make them very terrifying and slasher-like. It's just a lot of options that you've got with this figure. I think I've said that a number of times. I apologize, but as much as I dislike the idea of exclusives, this is one that's done perfectly well. I think everything here is done just right. I feel like the price point is correct, especially when you consider all the accessories that he comes with. Really, it is just an Ultimate figure, just exclusive and hard to find. But it's not that. All that being said, once you got him, I think you're going to have a blast. Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible to get him the only 2 ways you could have gotten him by this point anymore. The only way to get him is, first of all, you had to have been at the New York Comic Con, and second, the alternative, which is of course the route I went, is this was really weird. There were 3 days on the not McFarlane, Force of Habit, on the NECA site where you could go during a certain span of hours throughout the day to go in and get a chance at 2 exclusives, being this Ghostface and the glow-in-the-dark Phantom of the Opera, who I also have, actually, so we may or may not talk about him. I mean, he's pretty standard. We know what those are all about by this point. But as for this Ghostface, it's a lot of new, a little familiar, but pretty much everything here is reworked. I mean, I think the only thing that was recycled is the base body, and even then, the little we see of it is repainted. But, I mean, the robes are new, the mask system is totally redone, and every single accessory, including the hands, are brand new and resculpted, so that's really refreshing to see. I guess the only thing I could ask for is to have a little bit more blood, maybe something to counterpart the bloody mask that we have over here, but all that being said, everything that he has, the QC is very good. Again, the one issue I had is with the classic mask. Just gotta warm that up. Then I'll have no more issues at all to speak of. And yeah, he's just really fantastic, a lot of fun. I'm hoping that the folks who weren't able to get him through those 2 avenues are able to get him or her. Again, it could be either anyone, whatever, under there, but yeah, just a lot of fun. This is one of the best pieces of plastic that I've held in a while. If you have the means to access him at this point in time, highly recommend him. He's a lot of fun, really exciting, and again, the possibilities are endless. There's so many different things that you can do with them. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, then please, as per usual, be sure to
Like, comment,
Ring the bell to be notified of our latest arrivals. And subscribe. This is the editor speaking, humbly reminding you to support the pod Patreon in the description to guarantee new content every single week.
Thank you guys very much for watching. Rock on, and I will see you all later.